Well, I think we lost connection with the Deputy Governor there, Onyekachi Bezim, the Deputy Governor of Anambra State. Well, he said it's too early to start commending at this time.
Absolutely. It's too early.
And we hope to see more development. He just cast his vote, and we are hoping to see that more residents of the state, especially to the people of Central School 3, Mbaku, Oka South local governments, cast their vote in that particular region. The power to make decision lies in the hands of the people. Yes.
Yes, that is why we say allow the mandate of the people to stand. You don't have to thwart it. You don't have to redirect it. You don't have to decide for them. You don't have to rely on a tribunal made up of 3 judges to take a decision on behalf of 2.7 million people that collected their PVCs out of the 2.8 million people that registered, and out of the hundreds of thousands that will come out to come and cast their vote. The mandate of the people must be sacrosanct. I am of the school of thought that the greatest injustice you can do to a people.
You'll continue with that school of thought. Just a moment. Apologies, Fred Nziako. Let's quickly get Solomon Ajozogo. Can you quickly give us updates on this particular election? Okay. Hello, Solomon, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Emmanuel. Well, I must say it's like a party here today for the people in Isuofia ward, polling unit 002 in Aguata local government of Anambra State here. In this particular polling unit where the governor is expected to show up and vote, there are 933 voters, registered voters here. And the crowd that I have seen here today looks like it's more than 933. Maybe it's because it's the governor's polling unit. And the odd thing is that if you have 933 voters in this particular unit, then the Independent National Electoral Commission was supposed to have split, this particular polling unit when you have to create a room for maximum of 500 or 600 so that you can have 2 polling units out of this. The turnout here is massive. The voting is going on. Everything is going on smoothly. The electoral officers came in good time, and the people just keep streaming in, as if you turned up a water tap, and they are just coming in to vote. Of course, their son is the one who is in the saddle of government today, and they must show that solidarity. But I imagine that is this actually 933 or is it more than 933? You can see people still sitting and waiting to vote. As they sit, then the line is drawn over there. When that batch finishes voting, then the people who are sitting here, then they move forward. If you look outside there, there's an overflow of people outside still waiting to vote as well under the canopy on the road. So far, I think that this election appears to beat the expectation, the initial narratives of violence, of tension. As we were coming all the way from Oka, passing through Amobia, Ekulobia, and all the towns in between, everything was peaceful, seamless, no case of violence, except maybe if there's going to be one later. But as it is going right now, there is no report of any conflict or any crisis anywhere in Anambra where this election is going on. And I also have someone here with me, an observer, who's come to observe the activities here, Onwumere Eni, or one of the domestic observers. What have you seen here so far?
I've seen a peaceful atmosphere. The voters are seated calmly, waiting for their turn for accreditation so that they can vote. I think these people have done some good work here. They provided seats so that people don't have to be impatient, so people have to wait on the queue and they are seated down. It's orderly. Everything is going on peacefully.
When you compare what you have seen here today and previous elections here and around Aguata local government particularly, where some people say in some places in Aguata you have pockets of violence, how do you compare what we have now to 4 years ago?
No, I think what we have here now is more organized than what we had in the previous elections. But I can see that the population is more than what we had in previous elections. maybe because of the revision of voters register that was conducted before this time, and also people who wanted to vote for their own preferred candidate had to transfer their cards from outside Anambra State and they're back home here to vote. That's what I observed. That's why we have more than the population, double the initial population. But people are seated calmly. But I also observed that we have a lot of security men within the environment. They are quietly observing how things unfold. We have the military, we have the police, we have everything. And the good thing about it is that all of them are wearing accredited cards. What it means, you can identify all the policemen, you can identify all the security men who are here to work. They are properly recognized.
So you've had an observer here who is observing the elections, any Onwumere. One particular thing is that even the people who are old, the older people who might find it difficult to come, there are some people who are provided some vehicle services, as it seems, whether it's keke or little buses that you call korokpe, you know, the little small buses, to convey some of the older people who really want to vote. The one significant thing here is that a voter that we spoke with, because, you know, I had reported earlier in the week that Air Peace had to reroute some of the flights that were not initially built to come to Anambra so that they can cater for people who were returning home to come cast their votes here. And we spoke with someone earlier who had to come home all the way from Lagos to be part of this vote. So it seems that the Anambra people, or Ndi Anambra, are willing to break the dog to have more than 10% that they had the last time when we had the governorship election. So far, the trend here in Aguata, in polling unit 002 in Isuofia, the hometown of the governor, is showing good signs. We wait for what the others will bring from the other wards and from the other polling units to see if they will surpass the 10% the last time out.
All right, sir, very interesting there. I can see, Solomon Ajozogu, that you are indeed enjoying yourself with all this analysis that you're giving us at the moment. It's not a case that you are scampering for
Emmanuel,
safety.
It's some homecoming for me, you know.
Absolutely.
I'm in the East, and I've had some very good homely food. I'm in the East, and I'm from the East. So, and you know, Anambra, for a lot of us in the East, is a bright spot for the Southeast, and we hope that once Anambra gets it right in this election, then we can say Professor Amukbiton has gotten it right in his first litmus test as the chief electoral umpire for Nigeria.
I must tell you that it's quite too early to start giving that particular judgment that you just gave on the new INEC chairman, because a lot of people have said this is a litmus test for him, and he has about 3 integrity tests to pass. That of integrity test, efficiency test, and impartiality test. But quick one, before we let you go, Solomon, what is the proximity of the security personnel on ground to the polling units?
Well, so so I can step aside a little so that you can see how close they are. Where you have the pillar there is where the people cast the ballot. The polling officers are there. People go there, get accredited on the beavers, and then they get their ballot papers. Then they go there to go vote. You can see where the security officers are there, talking to them, organizing them, helping them being organized.
Absolutely.
All right, so now, I mean, I enjoy the fact that we actually see that a lot of people have come out in that particular polling unit 002 to actually vote. Now, from what you can see, you were speaking earlier and talking about how, okay, maybe INEC would have actually split it if the numbers seem to be larger than expected. Now, in the long run, would you say INEC has enough materials to attend to the people turning up at that polling unit?
Sorry, I didn't get that. There seems to be an uptick of activities here. There's so much noise. Could you say that again, please?
So the question was, I mean, we're talking about the turnout of people in that particular polling unit looking like it actually exceeds what was expected. Would you say INEC has enough materials in the long run to attend to everyone presently there and the people that will come after this particular batch is done?
All right, we lost connection with Correspondent there, Solomon Ajiziogo, talking to us about development in Isuofia, Aguata local government area. I thought we can get him to know when the governor will indeed come out to cast the ballot.
Sure. When the governor comes, maybe we want to call you so that you capture that. But it's important, Emmanuel, that while we capture the polling unit of the governor, polling unit 002 in Isuofia, and we capture the polling unit of the deputy governor in Anambra, we don't expect problems in those places. Let us also capture the other locations outside these places.
Yes.
Of course, you expect that this...
our correspondents are all
yes. We'll be excited to see the report by the correspondents in places like Urumba North, Urumba South, Ihiala, where you have seemingly security issues, and in places like Anyamelum, Anambra North, Anambra South, and Obaru, where you seemingly have issues of terrain, the challenges of geographical difficult terrain. But I am certain that I'm hopeful that with the widespread of your reportage, we are going to cover all that. It's also very important, Emmanuel. Nobody has told us anything about vote buying. Please ask. Have they noticed any incidences of vote buying? Because the vote buying process is clinical. It's done very, very clinically. If you don't
do you mean?
If you don't put your eye on the ground and your ear on the ground, you won't know that it's taking place. It is not done in the open. I give you an example. A voter casts his vote. In the process of casting his vote, you know, you have accredited, you have taken the ballot paper, you go to the box, you cast, you place your fingerprint where you want it, and when you are about to drop it in the box, they will seemingly make it to be exposed. And the agent or the political parties will cite where the fingerprint is and then know whether you have voted for the party or not. When you have voted for their party, one agent at that point will raise one finger. That finger, if it is right finger, Emmanuel, I'm telling you.
Speaking from experience.
From experience, yes. I run elections, I monitor elections, I'm on ground. I told you I would have been on ground in Anambra, and I tell you what we have seen in most places around the country. If it is right hand, they say right hand means for us. Left hand means against us.
Fred, let me quickly put you
and then after that you go to collect
those permutations of the
after that you go to collect your voting money.
Solomon Ajiziogo is still very much with us this morning. Solomon, do you have any cases of vote buying in that particular area that you are at the moment?
Well, so the voting continues here. It's uptick of activities here. The people are waiting. They don't seem tired to be voting. It's orderly so far. People are even eager to wait for their time to vote. They try not to shunt, and when people try to shunt, the people react, but they are waiting patiently for their turn. The turnover time for the accreditation and the voting and the proper casting of the ballot is so short. There is no delay. There's not been an incident of the malfunction of the beavers so far, from what we have seen here. Well, you can say again, it's the governor's polling unit. Maybe there are exceptions to that. But we've had situations in the past where in some of these polling units, whether for the governor or for a president, where beavers had malfunctioned or we've had some technical hitches. But so far here, there has been no problem.
There has been no problem recorded at all concerning the BVS situations, because we're actually ahead of situations where some people have not been able to be accredited in other polling units. It's nice to actually note that. Now, the question I asked earlier was, do you think INEC, the materials on ground now, are able to handle the votes as we're seeing right there in 002 polling units, considering the fact that you speak about the fact that a lot of people have come out to vote?
I didn't get that.
I think you're having
maybe your voice.
Issues
maybe you help with your voice.
Connecting
maybe.
with Solomon. Now, you have about 933 voters that particular election that have been registered. Does INEC has enough materials capable of handling them. Did you get that, Solomon?
Well, one of the things, they already know the number of people that will vote here. So when you check that the registration at the polling unit here, it caters for 933. Now,
Absolutely.
we think that that is also a bit odd, because when a polling unit has been able to have over 500, over 600, you naturally have to split that polling unit. So the people in this polling unit now deserve 2 polling units, because there are 933 people voting here. So you should be having 500, 600. If you have 933 here, then you have to split it 2 ways so that you can have 2 polling units from this particular place. The INEC officials are doing a good job handling this. The technology is not malfunctioning, so everything is going seamlessly. If there are hitches, we will report to you that there are hitches, but so far there's been no incident.
Before we let you go,
in a hurry to vote and go home.
Absolutely. Before we let you go, do you have any insight to what time the governor may be coming out to cast his ballot?
Well, we expect the Chief Press Secretary and the protocol people of the governor to give us that signal. One of the major problems here in Anambra is information management. You have to squeeze the rock to get some milk out of the rock to be able to get some of the useful information that you need to get the job done. So we are waiting for their signal. Once we get the signal, we hope that they will be up to give us the proper signal as to when the governor will be coming, whether it's in 5 minutes or 2 minutes. Once we get that signal, we are ready to take him. Even if he comes in while we're doing the live now, we will tune to him to get to, we must get the governor voting. What is an election if one of the persons participating and the man who is in charge of the state and for whom people here have come out does not take part in the votes?
Solomon Ajiezogo reporting live for us from Isuofia, Aguata local government area of Anambra State. Many thanks, Solomon.